Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about value drawing, and when I talk about value drawing, I'm talking about creating the lights and darks on an object. So when I'm drawing an object, I want to create how the light is affecting that object. So we're going to start off with a very simple idea. All you need for this is a piece of black paper and a piece of chalk. And so I'm going to be drawing my object, which is going to be a sphere or a ball. And I'm going to start just by drawing that object in the middle of my paper. And it's okay if it's not a perfect circle. Don't worry too much about that. So now I want to make this look very 3D by applying the lights and darks. And by that I mean when the light shines down on something, it creates shadows. It creates where the light hits the object, it makes that part of the object very light, and on other parts of the object where the light can't be reached, those parts become pretty dark. So first I want to figure out where is my light coming from. So for instance, if the sun is shining on this object, where is the sun coming from? I'll pretend the sun is coming from right over here. And so if the light is coming down onto this sphere, where does the light hit that object? And I'm going to start to draw the brightest parts where the light hits the sphere with my piece of chalk. My white chalk is going to be the lighter parts where the sun is hitting. So if I know the sun is coming down and hitting this object right over here, I'm going to start by making that part with my chalk very bright. Okay, but as the sphere goes around, not as much light can reach this object on the other side. So that's why as I create using the chalk, I'm pressing just a little bit lighter here so that it gradually goes from really bright here and gradually gets a little bit darker. The lighter I press with the chalk, the darker it's going to appear because of the black paper. Okay, so once I have a fair amount of chalk on this, I can actually blend this a little bit. And when I blend this, I kind of want to pretend that the sphere is round. And so I'm going to blend this kind of in like a roundish motion, just like this. And what happens is your sphere starts to look pretty 3D. But now my sphere is just kind of floating around here on the paper. I want it to be placed like on a table. Okay, so aside from just drawing the table, another way to show that it's actually sitting on a table is to create the shadow and the brightness on the table. So if my light source is coming in from here, we'll pretend, that's the sun, and it's coming down and shining here, where would my shadow be? So the shadow would be cast behind it, right? So the shadow would be over here. So I can even go over here and draw the shadow. Now, am I going to make the shadow bright white? No, the shadow is going to be dark because no light can get there. So instead, I'm going to take my chalk and add brightness around the shadow. And that's actually showing, and I don't have to fill the whole paper with the chalk. All I have to do is indicate the table surface with a little bit of chalk where the brightness would be, and already, just because I've drawn that shadow there, and I can blend this too, I now have a sphere. Sorry about that. I now have a sphere that is sitting on a table surface.